No teeth.
Hi, I'm Hattie Bonds, and this is for women only, solamente para mujeres. And today we are here with Sophia, and Sophia is a wonderful, wonderfully knowledgeable woman, and we're going to be talking about some very serious issues involving mold and informing the general public as much as we can so that we're protecting our children, our pets, and ourselves from becoming very seriously ill. It's a very big problem, and it's growing, and it's continuing to be, I would say, hidden, not being talked about enough, so that we can really, really stimulate our lives by knowing more about it. It's really a bad thing. So, Sophia, thank you for coming today, and thank you for putting all of this together again and scheduling stuff. You are absolutely wonderful, and you look gorgeous today as usual.
You're always
those
gorgeous.
Beautiful earrings. I'm gonna steal them after the show.
I'll give it to you.
No, I don't want to steal them. You keep those. But it's a very serious situation that we have going on here. And what I want you to do is to tell us what you know and actually your experience. What happened to you 10 years ago, I think it was.
10 years ago. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's a kind of a serious issue we need to talk about, and it's been going on for years and years and years. I should say, from what I found out from a guy named Arnold Mann. Wrote the book, They're Poisoning Us. He's the one actually blew the lid off the United States knowing about it for the past 30 presidents. My experience
30
was
presidents?
30 presidents. And
oh my goodness.
Yes, I'm getting goosebumps.
Go on. Yeah.
Make a story short, I knew about it because I come from a family of scientists in Iran. I'm from Iran, and my grandfather actually was a scientist before he was a dentist. He used to actually bring microscopes to the house all the time, these glass things, and put it under there, teach me about different things, the microbes and everything.
Yes.
So I learned about it. So it was somehow, I guess you call it in American, instilled in me. I don't know how you say it in English. Make a story short, I'll tell my story. I moved, when I came to United States, I guess, I got exposed to the same building that 10 years ago, actually, I got sick. I was having nosebleeds when I was little. And I was having problems. They took me to the hospital. Make a story short, 10 years ago, I moved in a building. It was October of 2007. I moved in with my dog, had a beautiful American Eskimo. Started noticing she was blinking. I started noticing weird things were happening to my body, basically, slowly, very slowly. Things just don't happen to you unless, things happen slowly. Make a story short, I found out I started getting rashes. I literally start sweating all of a sudden. I would tell my friends, don't talk to me. It's like I feel like I couldn't breathe. It's never happened to me.
Yeah.
Noticed hair was literally falling off, like not all of it, but slowly in the shower I would see more, hair. I found out the real actually cause of hair falling out is because of this. I found that when they keep telling people in the hair salons, no, you're supposed to lose 100 hairs a day, then I was thinking you would be bald. That really happened, so it's not true. I started getting sick. I found that the building management, I guess actually they knew about it, and I wrote them a letter. I said I was getting sick. Make a story short, when they found that I literally moved a mansion in this building. It was in Edina, Minnesota. I'm going to tell everything because I think people need to know. When I found out, I started noticing people were getting sick, including my own self, my dog, and not even that, my clothes were getting slowly tighter and tighter and tighter. And then I noticed, like I said, with the breathing, make a story short, I found out from a woman in this, they call it the Galleria. She told me, oh my God, and I said, what? She says that I lived in that building and they changed management because of mold. And I said,
really?
oh my God, this was a very nice boutique, and I went to look at the clothing, and then I go, oh my God, that's why I was getting sick. And I knew about it, but when they found out I knew about it, basically, they illegally averted me not to go to court while I was there. They literally pulled me away. I found that the whole thing was set up in the court system at that day. So the referee goes in while I was pulled out by the other manager. And I found that the housing court actually was lying to me. They kept saying, go talk to the clerk. I found out she was a clerk. not somebody in the back over there. There was no judge. I found there was a referee. Make a story short, they alerted me not to go to court. I found that by the law of the United States is illegal. You could go to jail for something like that. It's, you know.
So, what court was this that you were at?
This was a housing court at the Minnesota housing court in Minneapolis, at the government center.
At the government center downtown. This is where all this was happening at. Okay.
And you know that they actually have videotapes in there, so you would think everything was picked up. Later on, I thought it was interesting because they actually moved the whole office on the other side. And my friend, she goes, I wonder if it was because of you. And I said, why? She says, because, think about it. All those things that they did there, the video camera would have taken it. What's interesting, there was a guy, he was from the sheriff department. His name was, they called him Mr. Johnny or something. I talked to him. I later on, I told him, I said, what happened? I met him and everything. He said, Sophia, you got such a big criminal case, What they did is they wanted my things so bad, they actually locked me out when I came back after I was alerted not to go to court. The next day they had put a paper on the door. I was running around trying to find somebody. We found that the police in Edina, Minnesota, intentionally did not let me basically in there. When we went to their phone, they said, you're not allowed to go there. And I said, I don't, excuse my language, I just have one pair of outfit. You can't do that. I have thousands of dollars, $250,000 worth of jewels there. I've traveled all over the world. I had to literally draw my jewels that I had. These were not little things. And make a story short, they said no. Later on, we had Dorsey and Whitney found out they actually are they do defense work. They don't do plaintiff work. Finding out that it seems like they work with them because these people are part of what they call multi-housing association. They're all over the United States. People have died in their buildings. We call sick building syndrome. And their buildings are sick because of the mycotoxins are so strong, the trichothecenes, that these were used as a biowarfare. And that's what you are breathing. And it is only because of you aging. It is only because of your dog dying. And what happened is they wanted my things so bad. They did everything to get it. I went to one, two, three attorneys, none of them helped. They said, you got such a big case, we don't even know how to even help you. I went to the state capitol when I actually showed one of the women at the state capitol, the secretary, when I moved in, her mouth dropped. She goes, oh my God, these are expensive. But what's interesting is, I thought, I'm not going to let this go. My dog, literally about 3 years ago, finally she died. I had to bury her. I actually literally saw her skin tone change, her hair. This is my child. I've known her since she was a baby. You just don't all of a sudden change. Right. Her skin tone changed, exactly the same as my things happened to me. I blew up. It deformed my breast. It deformed my whole body. I started aging. My lips started shrinking, and it's not going to go away. It just shrinks you, basically. It gets you sick. Finding out from a guy that was a firefighter, he actually told me that in Chicago area, this guy was from Chicago. He said in the low-income area, of course, there's there's other places but this is what he said. He says there are children that by the time they even get to the hospital, they're dead. They're blue because of the asthma attack. And because the mill buildings are so bad there. And I go, oh my God, I said, I just got to do something about it, And because of what I saw in my building, I saw a woman's hand, literally, skin coming out. And I noticed the roof of my mouth was coming out. Make a story short, literally, I started losing some tooth in here, and I had nice teeth, and my skin changed. My vision changed. I have to wear glasses now. Things like I said don't just happen unless something you're exposed to. So people have to learn. You just don't all of a sudden age. You say, oh, I'm just aging, I'm getting old. No. Alzheimer's, dementia, they've known about it. Diabetes is a cause of you literally aging, getting gray hair. If you go on Wikipedia, you put aging, all of it says environmental, that's the one. It might say the other ones, but that's the one. So what happens is, United States, the food that actually they're giving to people is not really good food. It's basically grown somewhere. It doesn't have no vitamins, So what happens is, while you're exposed to mold that is in your body, these biotoxins are in your body, and everybody's immune system is different. So I always talk about, look, your thumbprint, when God created you, is different from millions of people. That's why now when they do forensic testing, They have to check on your fingerprint. That's why they do fingerprint. A lot of people don't know this. So they say, oh, why my child has autism? When I tell them, I said, mold is a cause of it. They're like, oh my God, now being seeing a lot of children. Little babies have glasses. You know, I saw 2 children 2 weeks ago. They were like literally limping. And these are little babies with glasses and things in their ear. I've seen a lot of that lately. I've seen so many children with autism, and guess what? All of them say the same thing. They go, my child, we lived in a moldy places was before my child was born because I asked them certain questions. And they said, yeah. And then they always tell me, they said, can I have your card? And I said, well, I'm going to do a documentary. Hopefully we'll let people know what's really going on.
Right.
So if the pharmaceutical companies know, and guess what? My nephew, just last week, actually they found him dead. This is a 17, 18-year-old kid, was telling me constantly he had headaches. Moved in a building. He kept telling me he was literally bent. I haven't seen him for a long time, and he was just nice kid. He was found dead, and and especially all these opioids and all these things have fungi in them. A lot of people don't know this. All these medications that people get addicted to. Why? Because when you're exposed in these buildings that have mold, what it gives off trichothucine mycotoxins, when you're exposed to it, it is a cause of you getting addicted to things, including alcohol, drugs, different things. Sugar, exactly. And guess what? It feeds off sugar and salt. And I told people, I said, if you notice at nighttime you go by your refrigerator, you're hungry because your body is starving. Like Dr. Kraft, and this is his book, Operation Synapse. He said, your body says, feed me. It's the yeast in your body that does that. So all these opioids and different things, I call it population elimination. Actually, that's what it is.
Wow.
Diabetes, everything.
We talked a little bit some time ago about the number of buildings in this area that were full of mold. And that, like you said, people are dying in them. They don't know why they're dying. But somebody knows who's causing all this ruckus, or if not causing it, at least contributing to this manifestation of this stuff continuing to happen, and the general public is not aware. Who would you say that is?
The government.
The government.
Pharmacies. Pharmaceuticals.
Companies.
Especially pharmaceutical companies. I mean, I have that book over there.
This one?
Yeah, that one over there. It talks about, like, for example, how they've given rats, certain things, they injected, put it somewhere around here, like they injected them with these mycotoxins, and how they actually, somewhere around
the
in
response.
Here. Yeah, mice, listen to this. The
Okay.
T-cell independent response production of I can't say these names, but make it very short. It says, I was observed in T2 toxin treated mice with a total suppression of an immune response at, I don't know these things, the effect of DAS were less something. Then in here it says mice were repeatedly dosed with mycotoxins at doses exceeding 25 milligram per day. The inhibition, I say it in English, inhibition, you read it in here, because you're a teacher.
Yes, but where are my glasses?
Glasses.
Similar, and pokeweed, metagen, and wow, lipopolysaccharides. That's a long word. The in vitro antibody, I can't see.
You can.
Oh, this is better. Antibody production of splenic cells from Furosinum X treated mice was suppressed. Okay.
So it shows that they put all these things, they inject them, so these poor animals, they're getting sick. But it's just the fact is because, see, animals are so delicate, their body's immune system is so delicate, that's why they have all these, what they call primates in the pharmaceutical companies, so they can experiment on them. Basically, you are yourself a guinea pig of pharmaceutical companies.
Okay, we're also the mice, and I notice they have the chicks here. And then they also have the pigs. Okay, wow. They're just experimenting on everything. And it's just, Amazing. Environmental health criteria 105, selected mycotoxins. And oh my gosh, this is a very good book here. World Health Organization. World Health Organization. Very well documented. I would say.
If it says World Health, that's right there. It says,
that's pretty heavy duty.
Yeah. And it says they've done all these things, so that shows something there.
Okay, so what we're saying now is the pharmaceuticals, our government, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to throw in our health community as well.
Oh yeah,
is responsible. Yeah. Because
all these social workers, I mean, I don't think the social workers, I'm pretty sure they don't know it, but the pharmaceutical companies are the ones that know it.
Well,
and nurses, they even teach the nurses.
That's what I'm saying. Our healthcare providers must know it. The doctors, and the nurses, the people that work that way. I would think that if not, I don't know how many, but many, they have to know about all of this information, and yet it is suppressed by the American Medical Association. And I would say the American Medical Association must take some responsibility for this as well.
Yeah. Well, not even that, it kills, it's killing a lot of the youth and the children. This is what's happening. It's
perhaps we're looking at population control on
That's why I call it population elimination.
Yes.
That's so sad, because these are young kids that could be something someday. I believe in God very much. I'm from Iran, but I went to Catholic school. But I believe God creates every child specially for a reason. And if you're taking a child's life away, in the Bible, actually, it says it's just not in the Bible. Woe to anyone, it's after Genesis, around, I don't know exactly when, but it says woe to anyone hurts an animal and a child. Mm-hmm. So actually we're hurting animals in these pharmaceutical companies. We're hurting children we're taking their breath of God God has given them. And these people are doing, they're taking the breath out of these children's life by taking their cells and killing their brain cells and putting them under the grave. I mean, my nephew would have been alive by now. 19, 18-year-old kid, all of a sudden have a heart attack. That's not normal.
No, it isn't.
It's not.
And so the building that he was in, you suspect?
I saw physically, Hattie, when I walked in.
The mold was there.
It was orange mold, literally visual. I was telling my cousin, my cousin's a psychiatrist. He didn't believe me. He kept saying, stop talking about it. I said, no, my tooth was I'm sorry, I'm talking loud. I'm Persian. I get really upset because he should have been alive.
This is quite upsetting situation if anybody hears it.
Yeah. I've had people, they say like, oh my God, is this true? Oh my God. I actually have to literally keep taking this, showing them. Anywhere I go now, I actually talked to another guy yesterday. Mm-hmm. He couldn't believe it in there because, when you tell him, I look foreign, say my thing, you're a nutcase. But then if you get the phone and show it to them, they're like, oh wow,
yeah,
oh my God.
Don't know. People don't know, and it's hidden, and it continues to be hidden under the rocks. Anything that's ruining us, ruining our health, and you're like me. If I walk into a building, I went into my friend Tori's building, and I was, sharing some things with Tori about, being able to have and breathe clean air and the microtoxins that are there, as well as the neurotoxins that affect children. Yeah. All of this ADHD, all of these illnesses that they put on children and diagnosed, and then they're taking medication that further stimulates their nervous system, and it's just like a sentence for havoc and mayhem in children's lives.
Well, not even that, these babies that are in incubators. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? I've seen these little bodies, this tiny, they're like this, like this. Yes. I've seen them.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine like a baby that just is sick like that? Their breathing doesn't look normal. I tell people, let's say it totally takes the DNA of that child and it just takes it the other, throws it the other way. And this poor child is sick. Put yourself in that condition. If you're sick and you don't like the way you feel, and imagine that poor little baby is just born. How could that baby, is just sitting in there suffering, and you keep injecting it with things instead of knowing about it, that this is the cause of it. I talked to a pharmacist a month ago, and just about a couple of weeks ago, I told her where I'm going on a show. I said, you know about it. You know the triclosan is the cause of it. She kind of went, yeah. I said, why don't you tell people? Why don't you tell people?
But because one of the things, I think there's really not what you would call a good place that you could go and you could really learn about all these different kinds of things for the general population. a lot of people in the country know about this. And I was getting ready to say that you're like me, you go into a building and you can detect mold right away. You don't even have to see it, but you will know that it's in there.
We're canary in a coal mine, that's what they call us.
The canaries. And so,
oh, they think
we're the
crazy.
biggest, no, they know we're not crazy. No, they know we're not crazy.
They don't want to admit it.
They don't want to admit it, but also they know that, we're the experiments too. Let's see when they drop. But, the bottom line is, and I go into a place and not only can I tell you about the mold, my body starts reacting to even the chemicals, the fragrances and anything like that, those neurotoxins especially.
I get nauseous.
And I can tell you, headaches, nauseous, and you may not see it, you may not smell it, but it's there. And the medical community know about people like this, and for years they were hidden and said, oh, something's wrong with it. Yeah, right. Well, they really do know the truth, and I think it's up to us to try to go out and inform people what the truth really is around all of this.
Yeah, especially a lot
environmental.
Especially a lot pollution. Of these kids are just dropping off like the flies.
And you wonder why the children can't learn in school. There's a lot of things in the school buildings and
there's mold in the building. I keep telling myself. I just talked to a teacher. I think she didn't want to have. She didn't want to talk to me. She said she was excited to know about this, and she says she kept telling me she's actually, since she's been going to the school, she kept saying, I feel like something is wrong with her, with the building. I said, well, you've been breathing mold. She goes, yeah, the kids are all tired. I said, yeah, you got to pay attention because you families and with your children, you got to pay attention. Remember, toxins eat away the trace minerals that, if you go in the Bible time, when God created you, it says from dust. It's true. Every trace minerals in your body is basically in your body. That is in the ground. I don't know if I said it right in English.
You did.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah. Mycotoxins, trichothecenes, actually take this, it sucks you. It's basically, I call it the devil. It sucks you. Now, you see some people actually go kill people. This is a cause of it. Why you say, well, how come I won't go kill people? It's because your immune system is different. I always go like this. When you look at your side of your face, right, it doesn't match the side of your face. But think about this God that created all of us. Some people don't believe in God. They say it's a religion. I said God is not a religion. Some human being came up with the word religion. He created us to be perfect in front of him and do good things. So what happened is when he created us, you see, that's why you're not like me, I'm not like you, and everybody else. But what we're exposed to mycotoxins and these things, we know about it. A lot of people don't know this is the cause that they're in. They'll say, like, I can't handle perfumes, I get headaches. But they don't know that what me and her
some
know.
People get, you can't handle it, you get headaches. Some people actually have an asthma attack and die. Some people actually will have a heart attack and die from them. So everybody's level and what will kind of kill you off immediately is different.
Basically what it is you're actually dying, and it's the truth. If you get some documents on
fast or slow.
Exactly. Some die fast, some die very extremely slow. You just age and you die basically, and your immune system constantly is getting lower and lower. Just my lips, where it used to be full, and I have pictures of it, what I used to look like. When you're exposed to that, these things just eat you away. Now, your culture, you have really full lips, but I'm from Iran too. But you guys all, I always tell people, I said, look, we all come from the same place, you know what I mean? So it just eats you away, and even the trees right now, all those chemtrails.
So what do we do? What do we do? Yeah, the chemtrails. Oh, let's not even get into those.
Yeah, well, they actually have mycotoxins in them. That's
experimentation in its finest.
Yeah.
Back in the 50s, there was a school here, Lindale Elementary School, and every day these airplanes would come over Lindale Elementary School, and they would, put out this whatever.
I heard about it.
Yeah. So if that was happening then, just only think what's happening now, only in the worst way, in a way that none of us really, really know.
Yeah. And somebody's got to stand up. Somebody's got to stand up, and I personally think we need to stand up, and do something.
So we have to educate people about it.
Go to United Nations and talk about it regarding children's health issues, because nobody's really talking about it. And Hattie, obviously,
United Nations every March get on their agenda and. It's talking about women issues, and we know who take care of the children mainly.
Women do. Yeah, those are the ones that have the babies.
We have to protect, and we have them. Yeah. too.
Yeah, and they don't know. A lot of women, I mean, I know a lot of
Yes.
women don't
Yeah,
know this.
yeah.
They don't. In the United
Well, a lot of
Nations, I
people-
watch UNICEF, they don't talk about these things at all.
No. All these other kinds of
No,
things.
they're like, oh, let's starve the children. I
Food
said,
and-
starving? How do you think they're starving? You spraying the whole air, the
Yes.
air, the whole earth. The earth is this beautiful living thing. You're actually killing it
Absolutely.
by spraying mycotoxins. That's what
Yeah.
you're doing. And these things that emit mycotoxins, what it's doing actually, they're talking about the layer around the earth.
Yeah,
It's-
ozone layers
the
are
ozone layer, it's
disappearing.
thinning
It's
it
thinner.
out
Oh, it is
because
thinner. You can tell.
it's the same as how it's eating you. It's eating the ozone layer. Put these things together.
Right.
It's a
right,
toxin.
Right.
God did not create toxins. Humanity, unfortunately, created the toxins, and we're actually what we're doing. We're taking this earth and killing it, and unfortunately, a lot of scientists know it is dying. The North Pole and the South Pole that are supposed to be
Yes.
stable, make the whole earth stable, it's melting. So that's right there. If it shows that the animals are starving, look what it's doing around the earth. And that's what it's actually doing, is killing the earth.
So we know who's responsible. What are some other things we're going to do about it in
Stand
terms of standing up and organizing some?
I need to get some attorneys. So if anybody knows that, because see, people are getting sick and dying, or they're
Yeah.
covering it up. That's what I really would like to see. If somebody out there would like to stand up with us, this is going on Facebook. Because they actually had told one more thing to the Department of Health in Edina. We have written documents that say there was no mold in the building. And I had a police officer a long time ago told me to go tape the guy from the Department of Health lying, and I actually caught him lying on not even that, on a paper that says there was no toxic mold. Not even that, they actually told to the people, lied. I have written the paper that they written to the people. It's amazing, I actually have it.
Who are the people they
The
wrote it to?
management, steward, it's a steward management, they're people, not even that, they're part of this multi-housing association that they actually own my cousin's building, that are their condos. There's a lot of professors, older professors there. I actually talked to a health, I don't know who he was, but he was in the health business in the building. He says, oh, I know what biotoxins are and all these things are toxins. I go, you're kidding. I said, this is breathing. I go, I never thought about it. I was thinking, Lord in heaven, because see, that's what it does. One of the things it does, what they call, makes you like a zombie. They call it brain fog. You know that. It causes brain fog, like you're sometimes in what they call like a fog, but you're there, and that's what it does. So you see some people, they're like, hello, are you there? It's like, that's what it does.
Yeah, you get foggy
So
brain
it causes brain
and sometimes
dementia.
and sometimes freeze too.
Yeah.
Brain
So,
freeze
yeah,
for a minute,
yeah.
then
So dementia is
come
it causes of it, and when you say I'm getting old, no. What it is it's trichotherium mycotoxins are the cause of you aging, nothing else. I mean, think about it. A long time ago, Abraham, how long did he live? All these people, like long time ago, does that even make sense that they lived a long time? Why?
Hundreds and hundreds,
Because you're in these
thousands of
buildings,
years, some of
yeah,
them.
that are emit toxins constantly. What it's doing is like shrinking you, shriveling you, and making you age, and then you die quick. You have to put things together. Don't listen to people. Open your heart, your brain, and do a lot of research, because so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stand up for my nephew that died, and for me. And
for those that don't know,
Yeah,
and those that need to know.
Exactly. So
as we move on a little bit later. So we're going to wrap up this segment here, this show, with this portion, and we're going to keep talking about it to educate people. And how can people contact you, Sophia? We have a campaign going, Justice for Bonnie. Bonnie was her cute little pet, and
one more thing
her
too.
child.
Yeah, if you can email me, it's very easy. It's Sophia, Sophia, S as a Sam, 33 @gmail.com. And then we're going to put this on the Facebook. It's going to go live, and then we want to see if we can let people know. Maybe we can get some help in here.
And the website is?
It's Anastasia, like Anastasia, and then SOHRA, Anastasia Sohra. That's my Facebook. So Anastasia, in Americans they say, Sohra, Sohra.
And Sophia is also an excellent artist. She's so gifted in art. And somehow we're going to tie some art
Yes, together with this.
to all of these issues here that we're talking about, and certainly get together and keep moving until we can. And I almost think we're going to have to put together some people who are not legal mongrels, because they're really the wards of the court, you know.
I know.
And they can't go against the court, but an average citizen can, and we just have to know what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. I want to use
I
want to use my story of what they did, because, like I said, they took everything as hostage. We have documents that they took my property.
Who is the they that took your property?
Stewart Management Corporation.
Stewart Management took your property
as hostage for me to sign my rights up with the mold. Supposedly they don't have. I have 300 pictures.
So Stewart Management is responsible. Corporation is responsible for you having your things stolen. They stole them.
They put me in this. They literally put everything.
Wouldn't let you back into your place.
No,
your rent was paid.
Everything.
Or you were caught up on everything. I just don't see how this happens.
That's why I'm going to use my story to stand up for people.
I just don't see how this happens.
I don't. You know, we went to the state capitol.
It's that big. It's that serious, and you can really just do that to people. Well,
I had police in Edina following me, and then in Burnsville they followed me. First, you think you're getting paranoid. Then I found 3 o'clock in the morning. Police came. They said I was going to cut somebody. I don't know what that meant, but I'm going to tell you something. We found out the Stewart Management had bought the motel where I was staying in after I told Dorsey and Whitney where I was. I had to, and guess what? I called Dorsey and Whitney
so
in
now
Washington.
you know why we don't need those.
I called Dorsey and Whitney at Washington, D.C. They said
people.
We stand up for these people. The woman, actually, the secretary,
Corporate.
told me. No, they said they work with these people. The lawyer lied to me. She goes, they don't work with them. I felt something was fishy. I called Washington, D.C., their office, because they're all over. And I said, do you work with Stewart Management? I said, do you guys work with multi-housing association that are non-profit trade organization? They said, yes, we do.
Okay.
I got them right there.
Thank you, Sophia. Until next time.
Thank you.
You're wonderful. Keep being courageous, strong.
Thanks.
And I'm so sorry all those things happened to you.
Me too. Thanks.
Good.
Well, stand up for justice. That's all we need.
Yes.